Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here, and welcome to Saturday's edition of the DCEU Daily. And I'm telling you what, I thought I was just going to be talking about James Gunn and what his move back to Guardians of the Galaxy means for the DCEU and for Suicide Squad 2 and the future of the DCEU. But I've got something even more juicy to talk about, which you already probably all know about. Grant Morrison and Ezra Miller are now writing another Flash script because Ezra Miller is not happy with the light, fluffy and generic script that the current writers have developed for the Flash movie. So I really want to talk about that. First, should we talk about James Gunn? Because that was all over the internet. I had to do an emergency video. So James Gunn a few months back was tapped to write and direct Suicide Squad 2. I was pumped. Then all of a sudden yesterday, there was murmurings actually for a couple of days that James Gunn would indeed complete his Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 movie. So what's going on? If you're a fan of James Gunn and happy and wanting to do more films with Warner Brothers in the DCEU, what does this mean for us? Let me tell you what this means. There is no love lost anymore between James Gunn and Disney. Forget what's being said publicly. He just wanted to do his trilogy. So the script's already done, right? So he literally just has to go and film the thing, which takes about 3 months, and do the other stuff that comes with doing a movie. Then he is done with them. He's about to sign a first look deal with Warner Brothers. But he won't be exclusive to Warner Brothers. He will be able to move with other companies like he's doing with Brightburn. So do not worry, James Gunn isn't going anywhere. He's doing Suicide Squad 2 even before he touches Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And how this all works out, of course, is because the script's been written for ages. We've all heard that they were going to go with his script, but they couldn't go with his script because he wouldn't let them have it unless he could do it. So I don't really want to go on about Guardians of the Galaxy on the DCEU daily video, but I just want to say this. They had no choice. He's our boy now. He's going to carry on making DCEU films and get excited. The hype might be about Guardians, but I promise you, Suicide Squad 2 will be the better movie. So everyone should be really, really excited. Right, now this is the main meal of today's video. So I'm going to read you this article, and this is about Ezra Miller writing a Flash script and screenplay with comic book legend, Scotsman, Grant Morrison. So let's give this a read. It may be 0 hour for Ezra Miller and the Flash. In an effort to stay on as start of the DC Comics-based movie, Miller has taken it upon himself to write his own script and enlisted the help of comics author Grant Morrison. The reason is Miller has his own darker vision for what the movie should be, but it clashes with what directors John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein have in mind. It's a shocking move, and if the studio, which is already on the path of fun and light, see Aquaman Shazam, but made a deal for Miller and Morrison to do their version regardless, doesn't go for it, Miller's run as hero Barry Allen could be cut short. Oh, so there's details on the Flash shocker. So let's see what's here. This is from the Hollywood Reporter, by the way, which has been right. So let's read this fully, right? Because I've had to go on another link. Sorry about that. So, but wait, that's not all. The actor is writing the script with superstar comics author Grant Morrison. In a bid to keep himself involved as the Scarlet Speedster, actor Ezra Miller is taking hands-on approach to The Flash. Miller is taking a stab at writing the script for Warner Bros. Project. Hollywood Reporter has learned he has teamed up with Grant Morrison, the acclaimed comics author, to pen a draft that could determine if he stays on as star playing crime fighter Barry Allen. The development has bubbled up from a clash of creative visions. John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, who have been on board the project since January 2018, have a light-hearted approach to the material and even hail from that sort of background, with credits like Spider-Man Homecoming and Game Night. And as sources know, that is the general track favoured by Warner's, which scored $1 billion with Aquaman by going the fun spectacle route, and is seeing strong buzz on Shazam, which is wearing its superheroic is fun on its sleeve. Miller is said to want a darker take on the material. The two sides have been working on compromises since last year, but Miller took the initiative to tackle the story himself. He partnered with Morrison, with Warner's hiring the two to script their take. It is a rare move for an actor to be so invested in a superhero, a project that they switch hats, but Miller sees himself as deeply committed to the character. Despite its namesake, Flash has been anything but in its journey to the silver screen, going through several directors and writers. Miller, however, has been a constant, having been first cast by filmmaker Zack Snyder for the role in 2016's Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, and embracing the role fully in Justice League. The script could be submitted to the studio as early as next week. Wow. So we're not going to have early to find out. Oh, we're not going to have too much longer to have to wait, are we? But there could be a lot riding on it. If Warner chooses against Miller's take on the hero, the actor could part ways with the project. Additionally, and fittingly for a hero who faces to beat the clock, there is a countdown scenario here as well. According to one insider, Miller's holding deal on The Flash expires in May. Despite the clashes on The Flash, Miller remains a presence on the Warner's lot. He has played a key character in Studio's Fantastic Beasts movie and is expected to shoot the third installment at the end of this year. Well. Actually, that's a bit contradictory because, we know that's been delayed and we know that's been delayed so The Flash can go ahead. But we need to dissect this article. I think it's very, 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 very interesting. Let's talk about this. So let's get this right. Grant Morrison is a legend. But this goes beyond Grant Morrison. I mean, first of all, I want to say to the people who keep on moaning, oh, this movie is so delayed. Oh, I'm just fed up with DC. DC is so bad. Warner Brothers are so bad. Nah. Sit back down, shut up, and listen to me. What would you rather do? They make a half-assed movie that's crap, that you start moaning again how DC and Warner Brothers are so bad. This is what happened with Justice League. It was too early to do a Justice League. The mess just wasn't that they got rid of Zack Snyder. The mess was it was too soon to do a Justice League film. And not just that, they had this stupid, insane decision of trying to mix in a Superman rebirth story with a Justice League movie. Of course it could have been done, but it should never have been done. It was a terrible idea. It turned into a car crash, and here it is. Now, Warner Brothers and DC are actually proving that they actually are willing to take their time and go with the creators more rather than the bottom line. They're actually allowing an actor to literally say, you know what, I'm not happy. Let me go with Grant Morrison. Let me try and bash this thing out. And let's try and do something special here. Remember what he said on that interview? If it's no good, the film won't be made. It has to be the best love letter to the fans. Ezra Miller is fighting for you and me and every diehard Flash fan, because he's been there for many years at the DCEU and he knows how long you've all been disappointed and devastated because some of your characters in some of these movies weren't done maybe as accurately as they were in the comics. Again, I love the DCEU. I know I'm going to get a lot of unsubs, but I don't care. I'm minted. I just want to say what I want to say. The point is here, this isn't a negative. This is actually awesome. How many times do we see actors just going through the motions in interviews? Well, I'm not a fan of this project. I'm just doing it, yeah? This young man not only is one of the best actors of this generation, he cares about this character. He cares about your enjoyment. This is proof. He could just go through the motions, go with Daly's and Goldstein's script and not give a shit, right? He's not going to get blamed for it. But what has he done? He's put the target in the middle of his chest and now has publicly stated that this film won't get done unless it's a love letter to the fans. And he's gone on a limb with Grant Morrison to do a darker, more awesomer, epic take. He's doing it for us because in this situation, this isn't about the money. So let's go through the bullet points again. Goldstein and Daly's script is really light and generic. Probably more like Shazam is. But Shazam managed to actually mix deep storytelling with comedy and a few scares. It's an amazing achievement. Even more reactions today, by the way. But Ezra Miller has said to them, listen, the audience aren't going to go for this. It's just too funny. It's too light. I want this to be done properly. Again, going out on a limb. So apparently, if this ain't sorted out by May, he's gone. Right. I know a little bit more than a lot of people about how Hollywood works. Ezra Miller, or Ez as I call him, right? He is the chosen one, the golden child of Warner Brothers. They handpicked him. They said to J.K. Rowling, we want this young man in your film for the Fantastic Beasts movie. He is their golden child. He is going nowhere. Now, what's evident here is that Ezra Miller is so passionate and he wants to do this movie. He's not going anywhere. The only people going anywhere are Daly and Goldstein, right? So they're not, look, basically what this says to me, they're gone. Forget them. They're all probably going to write and direct this movie, right? This isn't going to happen now. They were put in January, and I think that was just the kind of near the ending of the Jeff Johns era, the kind of Zack Snyder era. I don't even think Walter Hamada put them in, but I think he wanted to see what they could come up with. So I don't think Walter Hamada is going to have any issue with what obviously he's allowed Ezra Miller to go off with Grant Morrison, pen a script, and they're going to come back with the outline, give it to Walter, and see what he thinks. Because it is important. I don't think that I know Aquaman was very fun and everything, and so was Shazam, but I don't think they're just going a straight fire kind of Marvel kind of universe, because they wouldn't have got Matt Reeves to do the Batman. Matt Reeves was put in place by the other leadership before Walter Hamada came in. So that's interesting as well. If he actually stays for the long term as well, that's interesting. Now, there's no question about it. They do want to make films for the mainstream audience, and the mainstream audience want to see fun, exciting, beautiful looking films. And that's great. But there's no reason you can't come up with a fun, darkish script that strikes a balance, exactly how Shazam has. So, yes, you could kind of see Warner Bros. Going, wow, Goldstein and Daly have done this, but I don't think, they could say, oh, yeah, we're going to back them because we're going for this more lighter, more accessible universe. But if Ezra Miller, right, comes up with a script that can balance the light and the accessibility that Warner Brothers want, and a bit of darkness and a bit of depth therein, just imagine going to the cinema and seeing, based on the screenplay by Ezra Miller and and Grant Morrison, how awesome would that be? That would be damn awesome, wouldn't it? Come on. I read a lot of, I follow a lot of DC fans here on YouTube, on Twitter. I love most of them, but some of them speak absolute balls and are so over negative. Because now all of a sudden, because we've got this big news about James Gunn going back to Marvel, everyone started being negative about the DCEU again. All of a sudden, we've reverted back to time. It's ridiculous. You've got to think about this. Good things are happening at the DCEU. It's exciting. Grant Morrison and Ezra Miller writing the script for The Flash. This, my friends, is awesome. And credit to Walter Hamada for at least letting them submit this script. We will find out what happens. But of course, This is a very unprecedented event. This doesn't happen. You don't get actors in superhero films trying to take the lead and saying, you know what, this isn't good enough. I'm not doing this unless it's something special for the fans. You should be kissing his feet. I should be kissing his feet. This is awesome news. I will check you tomorrow for another DCEU Daily. Stay good, stay kind, stay passionate.